Hey everyone, hopefully all of you doing well. Welcome to the Forex Daily Market Update. Just taking a look at the opportunities that's happened so far, as well as what opportunities we can expect for the week ahead. Today is Wednesday, the 27th of January. Without further ado, let's delve into the analysis itself. So I'm currently in three different trades. So I'm in GU shorts, EURCAD longs, and AUDUSD shorts itself. So on GBPUSD, we've been talking about this pair for a while. So just going to the daily chart and looking at the larger picture, we can see the nature of the market, especially more recently, is very corrective. And we've been looking for this short for a while, but so far it's just been trickling within this ascending channel, and we're in a highly probable region because we're at this third touch and we've broken the highs, potentially catching people on the wrong side of the market. I've been playing GBPUSD. I've taken a number of shorts on it. So I took a short here, I took another short here, another short here, another short here, and another short here. So I've taken a number of shorts. And the reason why I wait for the structure to get to the highs, I wait for the 4-hour close of the candle. And based upon the 4-hour close, that's where I tend to enter, and I put my stop loss back 15-20 pips above the previous 4-hour candle itself. So I've got involved on this. It was mid through this candle itself. So the one before that I just closed, and I'm currently in the short itself. I've now secured my trade at break even. I'm waiting to see whether we have enough momentum to break through this ascending structure over here, because we've been creating this sort of squeeze and this wedge, and I do think that it will break out. Now, if it does break out, the next inflection point you have to be wary of is the lows and the beginning of this ascending channel, which is marked over here, and then the next inflection point is the ascending channel on the larger degree. And if we have enough momentum to break through that, then what the longer term target would be is the lows of the ascending channel. So I'm looking at 114.3 around, so this sort of region. But first, we need to see the break, a dynamic break with a continuation pattern. And the only way this is confirmed is if we get a dynamic move followed by continuational patterns to then give us enough momentum to be able to reach the targeted level. So that's GBPUSD. I'm not too interested in the buy, just based upon the nature and based upon how how it's forming up. There obviously is a probability that I could be a buy, because trading is a probabilistic game. What that means is if there's an 80% chance that this is going to go to the downside, that means that there's a 20% chance it's going to go higher. And when people see this, what they tend to think is that they tend to associate this 80% equating to 100%. And that's not the case. So all we're doing when we take a trade is we try to enter the highly probable trade, in terms of the highest probability setup, and from there we then try to take as much opportunity and percentage from the market we can, but knowing that if it goes against us, that's just the probabilistic nature of the market. Next is EURCAD. So with regards to EURCAD, as mentioned on the Sunday webinar, we're looking for an inverse head and shoulders formation. So with regards to this, I think the right shoulder, or this after this dynamic move, the corrective nature and the continuation flag is now formed. And it was just, I actually did take this one on the 1-hour chart. I didn't take it on the 4-hour chart, because when I zoom into the 1-hour chart, I think it was at just after this candle. So I saw this doji, I saw the candles to the downside, I saw this doji candle, and then from the next candle itself, that's why I entered. It was a bit premature. Normally I do wait for the 4-hour close, but the 4-hour close itself was a good close. It wasn't quite an engulfing candle, it was a retrace candle back to the upside. So currently in this particular setup itself, and yeah, just seeing how the next 4-hour candle closes. We have to wait for the close itself. It's just formed. What I'm anticipating on the break of this structure, how we can anticipate the next target is we take the measurement of the dynamic move itself on the break. That would be the minimum target we look for. And then afterwards, what we're looking for is the highs for potential double top, and then the outer structure, which is the descending channel marked at just over 1.595. So this is the target on this particular one. Can this come back to the downside? Absolutely. So say for example, we do end up just coming to the downside from here. This could so easily turn into a continuational pattern to then take this further to the downside and then maybe create this sort of expanding descending formation to then take it higher. I do think that is less probable. I do think the higher probability is for this to go to the upside. So let's just see how that forms over the next few days. Finally, AUDUSD. It's a pair which I didn't actually go through in the webinar itself. It was on my watch. It's just I thought NZD-USD was the cleaner setup, but with regards to this particular one, if you look at NZD-USD, this pair tends to move first, and what we have is a inverse head and shoulders formation. Sorry, a head and shoulders formation here. Although now we might be forming an inverse head and shoulders formation, we still had that head and shoulders formation itself. So the reason why this was on my radar is because AUD-USD, I'm anticipating a head and shoulders formation like so, to then drop to the downside. So it's fairly dynamic, the movement itself, and it was on this particular 4-hour engulfing candle that I entered to the downside. Currently, the trade is at break even, so I'm just anticipating that to then go to the downside. There is a possibility this can go higher, because you might ask, isn't this a continuational pattern? And it can be seen so. But the reason why I'm less intrigued, or I don't think it is a continuation pattern, is because the size of the dynamic move is similar to the size of the correction. So that means the more it corrects, the less probable it is to then go to the upside and be a continuational pattern. It could then turn into a reversal pattern. And what tends to happen is either a double top or head and shoulders formation. So that's what I'm anticipating on this particular pair. I'll take it 4-hour by candle by 4-hour candle. So keeping a close eye on that one. Next, I'm moving to the the top pairs for the week ahead. Starting things off with GBPJPY, we were talking about this descending trend line, the nature of the market, and we're looking for a short, especially at the double top itself. And we've come extremely close to the double top. You can potentially take this. The candle shape formation was good. I just favored GBPUSD over GBPJPY because this was in a slightly more highly probable region. So that's why I didn't take this particular trade. It's a valid trade, and it is a trade that I normally would enter, just based upon this 4-hour engulfing at a highly probable region. But that being said, it is entirely possible we then come back to the upside and give us a clear break of this double top, and then the trade to the downside itself. So I'm being patient with regards to this one and seeing whether how far we move down, or whether this is just going to form some form of ascending. And I'm still looking at this highly probable region, which we're extremely close to. Next is USDCAD. Now, I was debating whether to take USDCAD or taking EURCAD. And with regards to EURCAD, it was slightly cleaner because I just saw this potential inverse head and shoulders formation. That being said, USDCAD did actually move more because I was actually looking at this particular point over here. At a similar time, I was looking at EURCAD, and I decided to take EURCAD, and I didn't want to, double up my positions because I was already in GBPUSD and I was already in EURCAD, so I was in US dollar and I was in Canadian dollar, and if there's news either way or some sort of volatility, I didn't want to be spiked out. I didn't want my positions to be double the necessary risk. So what I'm looking for at the moment is still further upside. This would have been a fantastic trade. I would be running, let's see how much percentage. I'd go and just maybe put the stop 30 pip stop, and it'd be running at around 3% at the moment. But that's fine. Overall, I do think that this is still going to go to the upside. We're still looking for this trade to the upside itself. So I'm just waiting for this dynamic move to finish. Hopefully we have a high momentum move, and then what we also have is a continuational pattern. And based upon that, that's why I'm looking to enter and seeing whether this is the start of that bigger move to the upside. That being said, we also have to understand the possibilities of a downward move. So I'd mark in the highs for a potential double top. Also, one thing to also note is this is a potential double top. So we've broken this level quite clearly, and this could be catching people on the wrong side of the market. So say, for example, although we're around 3 hours away from closing on this 4-hour candle, what this could be is, say, for example, we were to close over here, then get an engulfing candle to the downside. From there, that'll just be catching people on the wrong side. Then we do have this further move to the downside itself. And on a larger degree, again, as mentioned on the Sunday webinar, the third touch is where we're looking for as a potential opportunity to then take it to the upside. But that being said, it doesn't need to go to this level. We've had 2 touches, and there is a possibility, actually a high probability that it can go earlier, but that is a possibility we need to be aware of. Next, EURJPY. So with regards to EURJPY, we were at the highs over here last time. I took that short. I did get tagged out. I had locked in profit. I think it was just what was the lock in profit again? Yeah, it was after we had this dynamic move to the downside. Just go to the replay function. So after we had this dynamic move to the downside, is where I actually entered on this evening star. So when we had that move to the downside, that's where I secured that break even, and then we started going to the downside. I didn't like this wicky nature, so then I did secure a break even. I took some partials, I think, around this area here, because we went too far off the lows itself, and then we started to just retrace higher, and it was this candle here that took me out of the particular trade itself. We're quite close to the lows, the anticipated lows anyway, so I still think that this is a continuation pattern to take it to the downside. If we do get a break, hopefully we do get a dynamic break of this at this particular point. If we do, based upon the continuation, that's why I'm looking to re-enter this particular trade all the way to the downside. A huge possibility on this. There's still around a good 300-400 pips on it, so depending how tight we get in depends how much percentage we can take. Not too interested in the buys at the moment, so still looking for that sells, but we have marked in the double top as a possibility. So EURGBP, still looking for that buy setup, and I do think that this expanding formation is what the market is showing us at this moment in time, this descending expanding. So keeping a close eye on this third touch over here, and that clearly be catching people on the wrong side, and then from there we can then take that to the upside itself. Also, another thing is, if we take a look, we've actually broken the previous low. We've then retraced up, and now we've retraced again. This is just the nature of EURGBP. So this candle hasn't closed, bear that in mind. And this could be just catching people on the wrong side, or taking people's stop at break even out, and then, or causing people to have fear, because a lot of people might have entered from this particular point and then it's gone all the way to the downside, and then from here, if the candle hasn't closed, so say for example it does retrace, that it could be a very good setup to then take it from this particular point. But overall, I'm not going to enter that because I am in GBPUSD. But the third sort of touch on this descending is where I'm going to be eyeing up for potential entry, or I'm going to see how this candle closes, and if it's good, then maybe I might take that. We shall see. Next is CADJPY. So with regards to CADJPY, we're looking for shorts. So we're along the edge of this descending from the weekly chart. We've had the double top, which is great. We're looking for a trade to the downside, which we got, and now we're looking for a continuation to then take that further to the downside. Not too interested in the buys, and let's see what does occur. There is one other possibility. So the possibility is this the dynamic move, then this is the continuational pattern to then take it for the third touch, and then from there we can get the trade to the downside. That is entirely possible, but for the moment, let's see how much momentum there is in the market to then take this particular trade, and let's see how far down we can go. And the target, again, as mentioned on the Sunday webinar, is 77.9 around. EURAUD, final one on the watch list, on the top pairs. So with regards to this particular one, looking for a potential inverse head and shoulders formation to then take it higher. Had the double bottom, which is great. This seems to be a continuational pattern. So let's see how much momentum there is to then take this to the upside. I'd like to see a break of this corrective structure here. And we have good 4-hour candle shape formation. So from there, let's see if we have enough momentum to take it to the upside itself. That pretty much summarizes what I'm looking for in terms of the Forex. In terms of cryptos, we've had quite a bearish move on quite a few pairs. So Bitcoin has dropped just below 30K, as well as I'm actually, one thing I'm investing into nowadays is a DOTS. It's just taken the market by storm. It's a great project. I think it's going to do extremely well, and I've started to accumulate this. So we've dropped quite a number of percent Yeah, just around 10%, maybe slightly more. I might accumulate some more at the double bottom or at the lows. It has the potential to come all the way down to this sort of area, fill that wick, and from there I might accumulate quite a lot. So let's see with regards to that particular one. Ethereum, what we're looking for, just go back to the Sunday webinar, look at my Ethereum. We're looking at this ascending channel over here, this 3 touch, and we're looking for another all-time high, which we got. I mentioned $1,500, slightly shy of that. I think it's 1480 we got to, and from there we got the drop to the downside. So from here, what I'd mark in is this this trend line over here, and this would be an inflection point to see whether we get a trade higher from here, and also I'd mark in the double bottom itself. So these are the two areas I'd be looking to then accumulate for buys with Ethereum. Apart from that, a lot of the crypto market has just been crashing, and it's a good time to accumulate on some of the pairs. Is how I see, especially with the bigger ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum, DOT, potentially even Litecoin. These are ones, whenever there's a drop, I see it as a sale for an opportunity to get involved. Like if you look at DOT, for example, we had the crash over here, and then that's just like a sale to me. That's a lower price we're getting involved in. Then we had the big rise. So pullbacks are needed for the market to then go to the upside, but it's also we do need a continuation pattern to then confirm any particular move. Hopefully you've enjoyed the webinar today. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you are new. Please put in the comment sections any particular pairs you want me to go through. If you're interested in any specific pair, you're in a trade, you want to know what it is, I could see it from an objective point of view, and I won't be attached to a particular trade because I may not be in it. And even if I am in it, I try to always look at the opposite side. So, for example, I'm in a sell for GBPUSD. I always think to myself, okay, if I were to enter the buy, how would a buy look like? So then I know how to manage the trade accordingly, and I'm not so fixated, and I'm not in this sort of state of hope where the trade has to go to a particular point. So yeah, please make sure that, if there's any particular pairs, reach out to me and drop in the comment section. Apart from that, I'll catch you either in another daily update. I might do one on Friday, or I might just stick to the Sunday webinar itself. Apart from that, hopefully you have a great trading week, and I'll catch you then.